The stage was set for an ordinary episode of The View, but nothing could have prepared viewers for what was about to unfold. The guest of the hour. Prince Harry, seated confidently, ready to promote his latest charity initiative. But across from him sat Megyn Kelly, sharp, unrelenting, and clearly not in the mood to play nice. From the start, tension crackled in the air. Whoopi Goldberg introduced Prince Harry with her usual charm, but Megyn Kelly's icy expression didn't go unnoticed. As the cameras rolled, the pleasantries barely lasted a minute before the discussion turned political and personal. Megyn wasted no time, launching into a question that made Harry visibly shift in his seat. "Prince Harry, don't you think it's a bit hypocritical to lecture the world about climate change while flying private jets across continents?" Harry responded diplomatically, emphasizing his dedication to sustainability and the net zero goals he claimed to support. But Megyn pressed harder, quoting recent reports of his lavish travel, complete with photos. "Do you really think the average American can relate to that?" she asked, cutting him off mid-sentence. The audience shifted uncomfortably. It was clear this wasn't going to be a soft interview. Meghan McCain leaned in, trying to ease the tension, but Megyn wasn't done. "You speak of mental health and transparency, but many critics say you've profited off your trauma, your mother's death, your royal exit. Is that transparency or exploitation?" The studio fell silent. Harry blinked, took a breath, and launched into a passionate defense of his choices. He spoke of raising awareness and building platforms. But Megyn was waiting. "Awareness or branding?" she snapped. "Because there's a difference between helping people and selling your pain on Netflix for millions." Harry's jaw tensed. He looked toward the other co-hosts, hoping for an assist, but they all seemed stunned by Megyn's unflinching attack. Joy Behar offered a weak laugh, but even she didn't interrupt. Trying to regain control, Harry shifted the conversation to Invictus Games, hoping to steer it back to charity. But Megyn wasn't about to let him redirect so easily. "Let's talk about your military record," she said sharply. "You admitted in your book that you killed 25 Taliban fighters. Was that confession necessary? Or just another sensational headline?" Harry's face reddened. "It was about honesty," he said. "About sharing my story. Or was it about boosting sales?" Megyn shot back. "Because that detail endangered British soldiers. Intelligence officers condemned it." Harry looked momentarily speechless. This wasn't the warm welcome he'd expected from American media. This was a grilling, public, unfiltered, and relentless. The audience murmured. Some clapped. Some were clearly uncomfortable. But Megyn wasn't finished. "You say the royal family abandoned you," she continued. "But weren't you the one who left? You wanted privacy, but you launched a global media tour. How do you explain that contradiction?" Harry's voice wavered slightly. "We wanted to control our narrative. The British tabloids were invasive and cruel." Megyn leaned in. "Yet now you're on every magazine cover. You're in docuseries, interviews, books. How is that privacy?" He tried to answer, but Megyn interrupted again. "You and Megyn speak of accountability. When will you be accountable for your own contradictions?" Prince Harry exhaled, clearly rattled. The other co-hosts tried to pivot, but Megyn kept circling, a shark sensing vulnerability. "Let's talk about your father," she continued. "You've publicly criticized King Charles, but in the same breath say you want reconciliation. Isn't that manipulation?" "It's honesty," Harry replied, voice rising. "I have a right to speak my truth." "Truth or vengeance?" Megyn said sharply. "Because many view it as calculated revenge masked as healing." The tension was unbearable. Whoopi intervened, attempting to bring balance, but Megyn Kelly was on a mission. "Why should Americans care about a British prince airing royal dirty laundry? What makes your story so special here?" Harry shot back. "Because these are universal issues: family, grief, healing." Megyn shook her head. "Then why not focus on helping others instead of monetizing every aspect of your pain?" Harry leaned forward. "We are helping others. Our Archwell Foundation has supported dozens of causes." "Then why do most headlines focus on drama, not impact?" she asked. "Could it be the drama is what's being sold?" Megyn McCain stepped in again, trying to soften the blow. But Megyn had clearly struck a nerve, and the audience could feel it. Harry turned serious. "I've faced trauma you couldn't imagine. The press killed my mother." And now you're working with the same press, Megyn replied. How do you live with that contradiction? There was a pause, tense and heavy. Then Harry responded, because I want to change it from within. Megyn scoffed. Or perhaps benefit from it. Gasps echoed in the audience. Joy muttered, all right, let's move on, but no one could look away. Let's talk about Megyn, Megyn continued. She's criticized the royal family, but joined it willingly. Isn't that a bit disingenuous? Harry's voice grew cold. You don't know what she endured. We only know what she's told us, Megyn replied. And stories change depending on the platform. So do people, Harry snapped back. You evolve. Or spin, Megyn said. And Americans are starting to see through it. The audience clapped, some for Harry, some for Megyn. The division was palpable. Harry turned to Whoopi, clearly frustrated. I didn't come here for this kind of interrogation. Whoopi nodded calmly. We ask tough questions. It's what our viewers expect. But not ambushes, Harry muttered. Megyn replied, it's not an ambush if it's the truth. Your truth, he corrected. Not mine. That's the problem, Megyn fired back. There's only one truth, not curated versions for sympathy and streaming deals. Harry clenched his fists on the table. You have no idea what it's like living under a microscope since birth. And yet here you are, choosing the spotlight again, Megyn countered. The conversation was turning into a full-blown clash. Tension between the two boiled over. I use my platform to raise awareness, Harry insisted. And rake in millions, Megyn snapped. Joy shouted, let's take a break, but producers signaled to keep rolling. You're no longer a working royal, Megyn added. Why do you still use the title? Harry responded curtly, because it's my identity. My heritage. Or your brand, Megyn said coolly. One that sells outrage and nostalgia. This interview is over, Harry said, pushing his chair back. Running away again. Megyn called after him. Harry turned sharply. No. Walking away from toxicity. The audience gasped again. Some booed, others applauded. Whoopi tried to lighten the moment. Well, that was something. Megyn leaned back in her seat, unbothered. Just asking the questions people are thinking. Harry exited the stage, flanked by handlers, visibly shaken but composed. Behind the scenes, producers scrambled to manage the fallout, knowing the internet would explode. On social media, clips of the clash went viral instantly. Twitter trended with hashtag #HarryVsMegyn and hashtag #TheViewShowdown. Viewers were divided, some praising Megyn's courage, others condemning her tone. Conservative pundits celebrated her performance. She asked what no one else dared to, one commentator said. Meanwhile, royalists and Sussex supporters slammed the interview as a public ambush. The next morning, headlines exploded. Megyn versus Harry, TV's most explosive interview yet. Harry's team released a statement calling the experience disrespectful and hostile. Megyn responded on her podcast, doubling down on every point. I asked what America wanted to know. Ratings for The View skyrocketed overnight. The confrontation had captured the nation. Think pieces rolled in. Was Megyn Kelly a journalist asking hard truths, or a provocateur crossing lines? Others wondered, was Prince Harry truly the victim, or simply unused to American scrutiny? The clash sparked conversations about media, royalty, privacy, and accountability. But one thing was clear, Megyn Kelly had humiliated Prince Harry in real time, and the world had watched. Public opinion remained split. Some saw it as justice. Others called it cruelty. But for Megyn, it was a moment of triumph. She stood her ground and didn't flinch. For Harry, it was a reminder that America didn't promise a softer spotlight, just a different one. And as the dust settled, the world wondered, would Prince Harry ever return to The View? Or had he just had enough of everyone's view?